Hi, I'm Jason Lopez Martinez.
And I'm Courtney Thorstensen, and welcome to our final live show this year. As graduates, we'll be preparing to walk across the stage and receive our diplomas in a week. And with the rest of our lives in front of us, we share a warning today about a real danger that's cutting lives short.
We've talked about drug trends and addictions in past episodes of EgoZone. We looked at stats and heard people who say they regret using drugs in the first place. But today, we hear from a mom who asked you to stop. Listen to her plea.
This is an image of Angela Kennedy holding a picture of her daughter Emily. She was a 21-year-old girl who passed away from fentanyl.
Parents need to be aware. They need to be aware of what fentanyl is. They need to be aware about the dangers to their children. They need to be aware about the dangers on social media.
It's extremely powerful and potent. So, for example, it is 100 times more potent than morphine. It's 50 times more potent than heroin. So what it does is it slows down your body, your body's respiratory and heart rate, and then it could cause your body to go into cardiac arrest or cause you to stop breathing, especially if you're using it with another substance in addition to like alcohol or marijuana.
And the person who uses another drug might take fentanyl without even realizing it. Law enforcement reports that illegal drugs on the street are often laced with fentanyl. That was the case with Emily. After her death, her family realized that she was using heroin and it contained fentanyl.
And she had enough in that dose that she took to kill 6 people. Of course, she had no idea there was fentanyl in the drugs that she was using. And so this really is a kind of drug-induced homicide. And we are losing so many young people to this. It's the number one killer. Fentanyl is now of people ages 18 to 45. We're averaging 22 overdose deaths every couple of weeks of teenagers. I mean, it's horrible.
And that problem has risen. As you can see in this CDC chart, overdose deaths have reached 112,000 over a 12-month period in 2023.
And now the reason that drug dealers are putting fentanyl into all illicit drugs is because if people don't die, and oftentimes they do die, of course, but if they don't, it's highly addictive. So they are getting customers who keep coming back until they do die. And so the public needs to be aware of what a danger this is.
Kennedy started a nonprofit called Emily's Hope and is a spokesperson urging people to stay away from illegal drugs. And that's true for substances you might not think are a big deal.
Even smoking marijuana before your brain is fully developed makes you 15 times more likely to suffer from substance use disorder. With alcohol, it's about 9 times more likely. I talk to kids about that. I talk to them about using any illicit substance. Even illegal marijuana has been found to have fentanyl in it. We had a 19-year-old girl in the Sioux Falls area die a year ago after smoking illegal weed laced with fentanyl.
It's unfortunate. It comes with the job. I've recently worked a couple of overdoses with some minors and some adults, and it's unfortunate that that's where we are coming to in a society with the drug use.
People need to talk to their kids. Studies have shown that the younger you talk to children in age-appropriate ways, the more effective it is. For example, our lessons in our Emily's Hope K-5 substance use prevention curriculum start in kindergarten, but it's age-appropriate things like who is your trusted adult, medication versus candy. There was a story from out east where some kindergartners shared gummy bears and there was fentanyl in the baggie, and these kindergartners overdosed and had to be treated at the hospital. So it's never too young to start talking to your kids about not taking anything from anybody, because the drug supply is tainted and it might not even look like drugs. It could look like gummy bears or something else. So it's a very dangerous time to take anything that isn't from a trusted adult or a physician, a pharmacy, that kind of thing.
Teens may feel they are immune to the dangers. If you ignore the stats, at least listen to this mom.
Any kind of use of an illegal drug is playing Russian roulette or a game of chance. They don't know if the next time they use something that they will die or their friends will die. And young people are dying at record rates because of this. And there aren't pills out there that are safe to take that you didn't get from a doctor, a pharmacy, your trusted adult, because so many fake pills are also laced with fentanyl. So that is a very strong message that I have for kids. And also, if they know someone who's experimenting with drugs, they really need to talk to their trusted adult about that, because they're not being a snitch. That's not what this is about. This is about saving lives.
Your life is not worth any substance or medication or any drugs. It is extremely easy to overdose, so it's not worth it. It's not a risk to try to do any illegal drugs.
I want to thank Angela for taking the time to share her story with us. If you want more information about Emily's Hope or the battle against illegal drugs, visit emily'shope.charity.
Thank you, Jason, for that important story. One place Emily's Hope works with is Avera Addiction Center. In fact, the nonprofit raises money to put people through treatment. I talked with a professional at the Avera Addiction Center here in Aberdeen. She urges people to reach out if they need help. The center has a residential and outpatient treatment options with a variety of specialized services. She said they're here to support and not judge you, and it's important for you to know that you're not alone. With growing online security threats, the school district is trying to improve its security practices while making it easier for staff and students. Eagle Zone's Jacob Kohlhaus shares the details.
The school district is beefing up its network security. It's also hoping to make things more user-friendly in the progress. The school had already added two-step authentication, which requires people to verify who they are on another device before logging into a system. It is now syncing the directory of teachers and students with logins to make sure someone accessing the person's account is actually that person.
And we've changed that for both the students and the teachers. And then that can sync with like your Google Classroom and all the other stuff that we have. So basically it makes it easier, but it's also more secure.
With the new system, students use their email credentials for computer logins as well as cleaning up the process.
I think it's going to help greatly for everything. You know, we're trying to make things easier, and especially for students where the logins used to be kind of hard, you'd have to guess.
And then there was the process of monitoring students in class to make sure they're behaving online. There's a system called Lightspeed that allows teachers to monitor students. The school will migrate to the state system, which is more comprehensive. Some students had figured out a way to bypass that monitoring system. Teachers will get a new tool that will make it difficult for students to bypass. In fact, if you try to bypass it, your Chromebook won't operate.
Once we get it the way it's supposed to work, it should be seamless for everybody.
Those are old changes that will happen or already have happened. Jensen says the district is also looking at using technology to improve attendance tracking, but the school is still working out details for those tools.
Thanks, Jacob. Some of those changes are already in place, but others, such as a new monitoring system for teachers to use, will be ready for the next school year.
Another service the district is changing is Infinite Campus. Schools will use the app for more things next year, so it's important for parents to have a parent portal account. If you haven't set up an account, the school district will open one for you. That will be the platform used for parents to pay fees, and you will be able to put money on a lunch account for your kids without paying the credit card processing fee the current online system charges.
It's the final stretch at Central for this year's senior class. The school and other community members presented seniors with awards this week. Those include more than $1 million in scholarships earned by this year's graduating class. And seniors, don't forget to finish the checklist required before you graduate. If you haven't written your thank you letter to a teacher, today is the deadline. Monday the 13th is Senior Graduation Walk, where seniors walk through their elementary schools. Make sure to be at your elementary before 8 that morning. Wednesday the 15th is seniors' official last day of school with their sign-out day. Seniors who want their diplomas must have all their fines paid and their detention served with all of the required signatures on their sign-out sheets.
Finally, once sorted out, rehearsal and senior breakfast will begin the next day on Thursday the 16th. Breakfast is first, served promptly at 9 a.m. with the rehearsal following at 9:30. Rehearsal is mandatory if you are participating in graduation on the 19th, which starts at 2 p.m. that Sunday.
Some Holgate Math Counts members are off to Washington, D.C. for the national competition. The team took second in the state this year, but individually, an Aberdeen kid took first. The Holgate Math Counts team is second in the state this year. Individually, Levi Edwards claimed the top spot. Their teacher said she's working with great kids.
So I couldn't be any more proud of those young men, and really because of the work that they were willing to do to put them in the situation to be as successful as they have been.
Holgate mathletes Cohen Hyman and Levi Edwards ranked high enough to make it to nationals. That makes them 2 out of 224 mathletes in the nation. But they are only 2 members of a successful Holgate Math Counts team. Mitchell Goals and Evan Smith also competed well this year. In fact, Goals barely missed out on nationals.
So one thing about math counts is that it's one of the longest seasons any activity at school has. So it's kind of like an almost all school long thing to do.
I mean, we were doing it over the summer every week, and we've had 3 practices every week.
And it allows you a chance to figure out that you can handle challenges. I know they talked about practices. There's sometimes we do problems that are seemingly impossible, and it's a life skill. So you look inside, you find something that you know how to do. And then from that little nugget of something you know how to do, we try to build on top of it and try to handle the challenges that we've got.
The 4 athletes and their teacher, Dina Sievers, all agree it takes hard, consistent work to compete well.
It's been a really long journey, and it's taken a lot of practice, a lot of time out of our days, just a ton of brain power as well, and we've really just had to keep on the grind so that we never forget anything.
Sometimes we learn new skills, we just take a sheet and learn how to do the things on there and try and get to know more stuff so we're prepared for competitions.
Edwards and Hyman are excited to go to Washington, D.C. in May for the national competition. The national competition runs Sunday the 12th through Monday the 13th.
And finally, for some final thoughts, I just want to thank everyone for the support for this year on Eagles on Live. I just want to thank for you, Courtney, for everything that you've done. And I know I really wanted this last final show to be definitely something special, but unfortunately we couldn't have our old crew come back, do some schedule changes and some issues. But I also want to give a shout out to Lesieli and Eliza Monga. Those guys have been my biggest supporters this entire year, and I couldn't thank them for everything. But Courtney, I just want to say thank you for everything you've done to me. I never imagined, and there's some days where I'm always angry at myself that I was never the solo anchor, but just you have pushed me, and some days you annoy me, but you have really pushed me to be a really good anchor. And sometimes I sound robotic, but it's this chemistry that we have is definitely something that I'm definitely not gonna have in Kyle News. I'm definitely gonna miss having you right by my side for next year, and I just wish you the best of luck at USF. And yeah, I thank you so much. And finally, for Eagles on Live, I just hope the absolute best for Eagles on Live for the future. I urge everyone watching this. I urge Kobe Dowan. I urge Gavin Bitts to just do a live show. And if they can't do it, at least we have Jabez, I guess, if he actually shows up. But yeah, it's been an absolute blast doing Eagles on Live this year, and just the way that Brian introduced us the live show, and we've been able to do so many things. For me to do the immigration story, and just for me to do this fentanyl story as well. I've met so many amazing people here on Eagle Zone. It's an absolute blast. I urge everyone looking at this, just take the broadcast class. I definitely feel like it's forever changed my life. And I never imagined me liking journalism when I came into high school, and here I am doing journalism next year for University of South Dakota. And I heard you also got a couple messages you want to say?
Yeah, thank you, Jason, for making me better at this, pushing me to do better, pushing me to do the live show. Definitely wouldn't have happened without you. It also wouldn't have happened without the people behind the scenes. So a big thank you to them. And I just want to say thank you to the people who take time out of their day to watch us. So yeah, hopefully we get to come back someday for Eagle Zone. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, that's all for this episode of Eagle Zone Live. You can always rewatch our stories whenever you want by scrolling down to the Eagle Zone section of the school district website. That's aberdeen.k12.sd.us.
This is our last live show for you since we go off to college in the fall. Thank you for supporting us. We leave you this season with a beautiful look at spring blooming, composed by most of the broadcast class. With Eagles on Live, it's your boy, or should I now say, it's your man. It's your man, Jason Lopez Martinez, signing off. Signing off one last time on Eagles on Live.
And I'm Courtney Thorstensen, also signing off one last time. Have a great summer.